Hello and welcome back to 5 Minutes with FESPA. Today I'm joined by another special guest who is making his trip to Dubai in January, this time to talk about the most important subject of all, if you ask me, and that's automation. Hello Mark, good morning.
Good morning, great to be here.
Mark, tell us a little bit about yourself. How have you ended up joining us at FESPA Middle East in January 2026?
Well, I guess it's taken me about 40 years to get to this point, so that's good news. So that's when I started in the print industry. And good news is, I guess after working for many years with Xerox, what I decided to do was to become an industry analyst and joined Keypoint Intelligence. And it's through that relationship with FESPA that I had this great opportunity to come out to Dubai. Principal analyst is it's a wonderful title. It means I'm the guy that's got all the responsibility and the focus on production software, my area. And what actually was great about Keypoint is there's a whole host of people behind the scenes that get involved in all sorts of the activities that we do. So Keypoint is I guess what we would often refer to as sort of a boutique analyst firm. But what's key about Keypoint Intelligence is that actually we are solely focused on the print industry. That's our deep knowledge, expertise, etc. Then you combine that with the capabilities of doing research and real analysts about that, and that's where the real value comes through.
What's the most significant automation gaps that you see in print production today?
It's a really interesting question, because I guess one of the pieces of data that came out from the FESPA census that really made me stop and think was the fact that 47% said they haven't even started their automation journey. So the biggest 47%.
Wow.
So there's this sort of stratification. That means half have and half haven't. That's quite a stark place to start. So the biggest gap today, I guess, is participation. But thereafter, a lot of people have started their journey, half have. And I guess what we're still seeing today is pockets of automation rather than fully automated. So there's a vision that, yes, at some point in time in the future, everything will connect together, but we're a long way from that. So the reality is for most people, it's still trying to find those key areas where they can automate, take out some of the challenges, etc., and move forward.
How do you define future-proofed in the context of print automation?
For me, one of the great things about automation is it's really about right-sizing or optimizing the business. So it's getting rid of the unnecessary steps, smoothing out those processes. So basically what that's doing for any business is putting the proper foundations in. And one of the things that I guess a life in print, you realize all the changes that happen through through a period that come our way. Some positive, some negative, but what you have is resilience. The strength of the print industry is really its ability to adjust. And when you've got automation in place, you've got that solid foundation that gives you that capability, to ride the good waves and be ready to adjust, etc., when things aren't quite as good as they could be.
How is AI transforming print workflow management from your viewpoint?
AI adds a new dimension, I think, into automation. And I think for the interesting thing for my research as well, I think it's a motivator as well for people to invest. They see now something new, that's what makes it different today. It can do this. Now's a good time to invest. AI is interesting because there's software side, and then the physical side of AI is coming through as well. Robotics.
Okay, so again, you give me a great segue here. Yeah. What's the relationship between workflow automation and hardware automation? Robotics.
Wonderful robotics. So it's interesting because when you think about the print process, now whatever you're producing at the back end, the reality is you're putting marks on something. And there's a whole different variety of media that we print on. So there's a physical nature to print. There's a lot of movement of, say, media through those processes. So AI can help on the software and the automation side in terms of the process, but sometimes in there you have to physically move something. Mm-hmm. And as good as AI is, it's not going to shift media. That's where you need a different support, a different hand, if you like, to get involved in the process. And for me, that's where robotics comes in. So when you combine robotics, the physical AI, with the AI software, you really get real value to drive that automation on all aspects.
What do you think are the barriers preventing any PSP of any size from automating?
The first barrier is the is the barrier of accepting that I need to do something. That's once you pass that and you say, okay, I can see why I need to, now I'm going to do it. Now everything becomes, I think, a lot easier afterwards. The obvious thing that we're all dealing with today is rising costs. And when costs are rising, we get into that point of, okay, so I need to manage money. And therefore the investment side starts to sort of ring. That's what it's going to take. What you've got to do though is balance it with a return on investment. And the fact that rising costs are also going to change the industry. It's not just the costs you're dealing with, it's also the costs your customers are dealing with and what effect that will have on their print demand, etc. So you're back to automation is all about getting you into that right base to manage everything going forward. So the issues are definitely around money, but think of it more about the return on investment and the benefits it will bring. And then I think much easier to justify, therefore, those investments and move forward. One of the benefits of automation is getting it right first time and therefore reducing waste. That'll have a big impact on sustainability for all of us. So reduce waste is probably the biggest link.
Okay, that's a good one. Mark, thank you so much for joining us today. We look forward to having you at the conference in the new year. Thank you so much for sharing your thoughts and obviously helping to bring more value to where our members need to go so they can live long and prosper.
Indeed. Wonderful. Look forward to it.